All right, let's talk about a delicious puzzle. You hear it all the time, right? Singapore is one of the most expensive cities on Earth. But then you find these meals that just seem to defy economic gravity. So let's get right into it. Okay, just look at this. I mean, it's a perfect Singaporean breakfast. You've got a crispy, golden brown plain prata. That's this amazing flaky flatbread. And then right next to it, a hearty egg and onion one. It looks incredible, doesn't it? But believe it or not, the most amazing thing here isn't what you see. It's what you pay. $4. Yep, that's it. For the whole thing. And this is in a city where, a simple coffee at a cafe can easily cost you double that. It's wild. Which brings us to the big question we're tackling today. In one of the most famously expensive cities in the entire world, how on earth is a meal this good, this cheap? We're going to solve this $4 mystery. And trust me, it's not some random one-off fluke. It's actually a clue that points to a much bigger story about how Singapore really eats. So let's start by deconstructing the deal. To prove this isn't just an anomaly, we're going to look at a couple of other case studies that really show this incredible value in action. First up, check out this bowl of prawn mee, a super popular local noodle dish. This is the dry version. So you've got the noodles, some pork slices, a really decent-sized prawn, and, get this, a separate bowl of rich soup on the side. And the price? A mere $4.50. So let's really break down why this is such a crazy good deal. For $4.50, this thing is totally defying what I'd call the seafood tax. Where adding prawns to anything just sends the price skyrocketing. Plus, you get that whole separate bowl of rich soup, something places are definitely starting to charge extra for these days. And look, these aren't some tiny, sad, dried prawns. They're quality, medium-sized ones. When you think about paying $8, maybe even $12 for this at a famous stall, yeah, this is a massive, massive win. Okay, next up, a plate of chicken rice. You could argue this is Singapore's national dish. Now, this one's $6, which might seem a little higher at first glance, but the key thing to look at here is the portion. Yeah, the portion size is everything here. This plate is loaded with extra meat, and it's high-quality, perfectly poached chicken. You can even see that beautiful gelatinous skin, which is a real sign of skill. If you tried to get this exact same plate in Singapore's central business district, you'd be looking at over $10, easy. So even at $6, the amount of protein you're getting for your money is just fantastic. You see, these amazing deals aren't just random luck. They are all part of a much bigger, almost invisible system that we're calling the Heartland Value system. And what is that exactly? Well, it's a whole food ecosystem you find in Singapore's residential neighborhoods, the so-called heartlands. It's how quality food and culinary heritage get preserved at these remarkably fair prices, not by skimping on ingredients, but through a really unique set of circumstances. So this whole system is basically held up by three key pillars. Okay, first up, you've got the government's HDB Budget Meal Initiative. This gives stall owners a break on rent if they promise to offer some really low-cost meals. Then, pillar number 2, just the sheer number of stalls crammed into these neighborhoods. I mean, the competition is fierce, and that naturally keeps everyone's prices in check. And finally, number 3 is the business model itself. It's all about high volume, low margin. They're not trying to get rich off one plate. They're making their money by selling hundreds and hundreds of them every single day. And what this creates is basically a tale of two cities when it comes to food prices. The difference between eating out in a neighborhood versus eating downtown is, well, it's staggering. Let's just put them side by side. On one hand, you've got the Heartland hawker. They're in the residential estates, serving locals who are pretty price sensitive, and they survive on that high volume model. On the other hand, you have the CBD food court, right in a high-rent business district, catering to office workers and tourists who maybe aren't watching every single dollar. We're talking about two totally different business models. And look, here's the proof in the pudding, the hard data. This is the price showdown. A standard chicken rice, maybe $4 or $5 in the Heartlands. In a mall food court, it nearly doubles. A simple kai fan, a mixed rice plate, jumps from maybe $3.50 to $7, $8, even $10. It's nuts. Even a basic black coffee, a Kopi O, costs way more. The numbers just spell it all out. They don't lie. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it means that finding your next incredible, affordable meal in Singapore isn't really about luck at all. It's about geography. And this quote really says it all. The idea that Singapore is unaffordable is only half the story. The true, authentic, and budget-friendly food experience, it isn't in those fancy downtown malls. It's found deep in the heart of the neighborhoods, right under a void deck,
That's the open-air ground floor of the public housing, where millions of Singaporeans live.
And all of this really leaves us with one big, crucial question, doesn't it? I mean, in a world where the cost of everything seems to be going up, how long can this incredible system of amazing value actually last? Is this something that's built to stand the test of time? Or is it just a beautiful, delicious moment that's living on borrowed time? That's the real mystery.